Welcome back.
Yes.
So let's talk about the rental income tax. As it were, before this regime came in, we had the withholding tax.
Yes.
But now we are in the rental income tax.
Yes.
What's the difference there?
So with withholding tax, that was 10% of your total rental income. But then it changed to rental income tax. So there's two thresholds. That's 4% and 12.5%. So 4% is for properties that are earning, I believe it's less than 66,000 kwacha per month and totaling 800,000 kwacha per year.
Yeah.
So if you fall under that threshold, you pay 4%.
4%, okay.
If you're above that threshold, you pay 12.5%.
Okay.
Now, I feel it's not really a fair tax because the band is too wide. 4 and 12 is too wide. At least if there was a middle rate, maybe say 8 or 9%, that would be much fairer.
Awesome.
Yes, because there are obviously those people who will be 600,000 per annum now, or maybe 810 or something. So there needs to be that sort of balance.
Okay.
That's what I feel with rental income tax.
But whose obligation is it to deal with the rental income tax? Is it on the landlord or on the tenant?
Withholding tax before was the obligation of the tenant, but now rental income tax has been pushed to the landlord.
Okay.
So now, with that being pushed to the landlord, rental prices have somewhat gone up.
Sure, because they want to cover up.
Yes, but now tenants are not really understanding that, and it's unfortunate, but I feel the necessary authorities should have done the proper integration into the system by having, say, road shows and having those discussions and whatnot with people.
Sure.
So that people should understand it and then move it in smoothly.
Sure.
As opposed to just pushing it straight on.
Okay.
That's what I feel about rental income tax.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think everybody that is listening at least have gotten one or two things from the withholding tax and the rental income tax and whose obligation is it.
Yes.
Moving on to the next point of security deposit. I think this is one of the questions that we get a lot from clients, from tenants.
Yes.
Why should we pay security deposit? Is it legal or illegal? In your opinion, we know we are not experts in the financial part and everything. Yeah, but we are professionals in the real estate industry because of we are licensed. In your opinion?
Okay. With regards to security deposit, I feel it is necessary because at least it gives the tenant some sort of, I can say, responsibility, knowing that this is someone else's property and I have paid a little extra.
Sure.
And I have to make sure that I take care of this property. But the problem that I've also come to realize with certain landlords is that they don't understand what security deposit really is about.
Sure.
So what security deposit is about is that you as the tenant, say your house is 5,000 kwacha, you pay your 2 months up front plus security deposit or 3 months up plus security deposit. So a security deposit in, say, other countries, it's held in an escrow account. And that escrow account is managed by both the landlord and the tenant. But here in Zambia, the landlord is the one who just holds onto it. Now, if, say, with the way the cost of building houses is now, say a 2-bedroom for 5,000 kwacha. If, say, someone damages that house, 5,000 kwacha is not gonna cover everything.
No,
so now, with the way I like to encourage landlords is to say, let your security deposit clause be as descriptive as possible, where you say the obligation to repair the house is on you, the tenant. And after you repair the house back to its original state, I expect you should expect me to give you back your security deposit in full. But in practice, it never really happens. Because you'll find the tenant, upon vacating the premises, decides to not want to bother to fix the house, or they'll just leave the house at night. Those are the times when you're driving home at 16-18 hours, you find a truck full of katundu going to a different location. Most of those, unfortunately, you know that they've probably run away.
Sure.
Yes, because they know that they've made a mess up at the house, and it will cost so much to repair.
Victor's Hill Estates brings you plots for sale in Palabana. We have 3 different sizes available at this estate with up to 3-year payment plans. 30 by 20 going for 170,000 kwacha, 40 by 25 going for 280,000 kwacha, 60 by 35 going for 340,000 kwacha. Remember, 3-year payment plan with only a 10% deposit. 27 kilometers from Crossroads Shopping Mall is where you and your family will call home. Get in touch now.
So, to recap on the security deposit,
Yes.
you are saying, or as per your opinion, you're saying you advise landlords to put in a clause in the lease agreement which stipulates the obligation of repairs to bring in back the property to the standard in which it was given.
Yes.
It's on the onus of the tenant.
Yes.
Or can we say, if you've not done that, then now the landlord is able to use the security deposit to repair the property. But if we have a shortfall, then the tenant is obligated by that clause to top up so that the property is brought back.
Yes, that can be done. Yes, but of course there will be that back and forth with the landlord. So I think it's always good to, have a working relationship with your tenants. Not one where you are, this is my property, you can't tell me anything. You need to have a proper working relationship with your tenants, have conversations, even when you're starting your lease agreement, understand each other. In as much as, yes, it's indicated in plain English, but it doesn't hurt to actually discuss it and say, guys, this is how we are moving in this direction. I expect when we're done with the house, when you're done with your tenancy, I expect you to return this house back to its original state.
This issue of paying 3 months in advance,
yes,
is it legal or illegal? Do we have a provision in the Rent Act?
In the Rent Act, there's only a provision for 2 months and no security deposit.
Okay.
There's no provision for security deposit. But I feel 3 months up front is not really a gauge for someone to be credible. Because it's very easy for someone to go and borrow from Ngosa and say, can I borrow 15,000 kwacha or 20,000 kwacha? I go and pay Chris for his house, and then after the 3-month lapses, I'm struggling to pay the rent. So I don't think it's really a gauge. And I always tell the landlords to say, look, if someone tells you, I'm able to pay you 1 month plus 1 month security deposit, and I will be paying you consistently after that, that is a more trustworthy client, as opposed to someone where you give them the lease and say 3 months up front, I can even pay 6 months, I can pay 1 year, I can pay 2 years. That, to me, I don't really see it as a genuine or a credible tenant. Yes, it's not a credible gauge. No, I feel if someone is just honest and straightforward and say, I can manage X amount, it's better that way, because you are being honest about your finances. Yes.
So it's better to have someone that is paying consistently than have someone who is actually having lapses because they can't manage that 3 months that they were tied to.
I remember there was one time there was some flats in Newcastle. There was one landlady, she was insisting to say, I only want 3 months upfront plus security deposit. I said, look, it's not a gauge. Get 1 month plus security deposit. She got that 1 month plus security. This was about 5 years ago. The tenant only moved out a year ago. They were consistent in their payments. The other tenants that followed after messed up everything. After 6 months, terminated. 6 months, terminated. 6 months, terminated. So it wasn't a good gauge. And ever since, she's actually followed my advice. And I hear all the other houses that she has, she just goes straight with 1 month and security deposit. At times, if someone comes without the security, so long as they sit down and have a conversation, she goes ahead and gives them the house.